guys.
Hey guys. It's Mark.
It's Michelle, and this is Mark and Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
Mark's not feeling great because his allergies are really bad.
Yeah. No, they're not as bad as they could be, but they're annoying.
We haven't had rain for a while.
Right.
And we have a lot of oak.
All right.
So tonight we are going to talk about something someone posted on our page. Hey, Krista and Taj. And what she said, she had several questions, so I'm going to read what she said. We see a lot of regression when my son gets sick. His ATEC was 9 in May, but shot up to 27 after strep in July. Then back down a little and then up again due to the flu in September. Did you experience this during your recovery process? If so, were you able to move past this? I proceeded to ask her what diet they were doing, how he was eating. And so we're going to speak to this. We were strictly SCD,
Specific Carbohydrate Diet, a precursor to GAPS.
for over a year. Now we reintroduced some rice and potatoes. Mostly he eats meats and fruits. Dislikes veg, but will take a few bites with coaxing. He loves peanut butter, organic and sugar-free. We were doing vitamin C, curcumin, taurine, herbal liver support, MB12,
Methylated B12.
B12, injections, nebulizer glutathione, and MH-bot.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't know what that is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't either.
Okay, so what we're going to do for a little bit is talk about, she also said that he was on antibiotics for quite some time for PANDAS and mold exposure. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk about what the specific carb diet is for a moment and then compare it to medical medium. So you want to...
Okay, well, PANDAS, just so you know, is viral according to medical media. Now, mainstream medicine considers it bacterial. However, my experience is when I had behaviors that were part of PANDAS, I had to, and if I treated them or it as if it was a virus, then it would go away. If I used supplements for bacteria that medical medium recommends, it didn't go away. And so I'm pretty sure it's viral, considering I found a handful of scientific journal papers that talk about viruses needing heavy metals to function, and then feeding off of heavy metals in a system in the body of a person with PANDAS, and then releasing neurotoxins when they die, which causes nerve damage, which in turn must be bad behavior. So if your nerves are damaged, your behavior is not going to be normal.
Right.
All right. So
The specific carb diet.
So the specific carb diet is a lot like the GAPS diet. In fact, reading through it, recommended foods, meats without any additives. So it could be pork, beef, chicken, without any flavor enhancers, without any salt, without any preservatives, that kind of thing. Fresh meats is what I'm assuming that means, just like on the GAPS diet. And the dairy that's recommended is fermented yogurt, homemade fermented yogurt, fermented at least 24 hours. And then cheeses like Swiss, hard cheddars, and that type of stuff. And then it goes on to talk about fresh, frozen, raw, or cooked vegetables, fresh, frozen, raw, or cooked fruit. And then he recommends tea, coffee, and other things. Now, other than the fruits and the veggies, everything else is a no on the medical medium. And the reason being is this. The tea and the coffee deplete the adrenals. For most people, your adrenals are depleted already anyway. Hey, Ashley. So tea and coffee just really continue to deplete your adrenals. Now, the meats and the dairy, fermented dairies, those just add a more viral content to an already overloaded system with viruses and bacteria and everything else. So the dairy and the meats and the teas and the coffees would be no foods on medical medium because they continue to damage your system. And so for those of you who have PANDAS, or kids who do, you don't want to continue eating meat, dairy, or having any of the, even fermented dairy.
No vinegar.
And right, vinegar. That vinegar was recommended too. No vinegar because it is just a little too acidic for your body. Now, medical medium says
dehydrating and pickles your liver.
that's where I was going with that. And so those things you don't want on medical medium if you're trying to heal. That's why he recommends fresh raw fruit, and if you can eat fresh raw veggies like salads, fresh cucumbers, fresh tomatoes, that type of stuff. Those are going to get you the best healing because all the minerals and nutrients and bacterial and viral fighting properties are already in those raw fruits and veggies. So you have to eat them. Now, the specific carbohydrate diet was originally intended for gut health, to repair the gut, just like the GAPS diet. In fact, it seems to be pretty much the exact same as the GAPS diet.
Except I didn't see bone broth.
True, I didn't see bone broth, or meat broth for that matter, or stock, either one of those three. So those weren't on there. So that may be the biggest thing. And so anyway, all of those things on the specific carbohydrate diet are actually feeding the PANDAS. And how do I know? Because they contributed to mine. Now, it's interesting. Oh, and the other thing on the specific carbohydrate diet was legumes and peanuts and things like that. He recommended those on the specific carbohydrate diet. Thing is, the legumes like chickpeas and lentils and beans and stuff like that, they all feed strep bacteria. And strep bacteria cause problems in your system as well. If mainstream medicine thinks that strep bacteria causes PANDAS, then why eat the stuff that feeds it? So the specific carbohydrate diet is a good diet for healing your gut. But for complete healing, you are going to have to go the way the medical medium recommends, with detoxing, heavy metal detoxing, celery juice to kill viruses and bacteria, and lemon water to flush out those toxins, and then eat raw fruit and veg, either in the form of smoothies or salads, or eating raw fruit or eating raw veg, because those still contain all of the nutrients that you need to actually heal. So
I want to say that because peanut butter is not recommended because it's a possible source of mold.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have mold exposure, you definitely do not want to eat peanuts.
Eating peanuts.
Now, if you have a child who is just dying for peanuts, try first with a replacement like almond butter or cashew butter. That's still a lot of fat, because I don't think you've mentioned fat yet.
No, we haven't gone to, but specific carbohydrate diet with the meats and the dairy, fermented dairy, that is a lot of fat. So now let's move that over to the 5 things that we've discovered you have to heal to cure autism, to heal autism. Gut. Okay, so you could say specific carbohydrate diet is a good step in the gut direction, because for me, the GAPS diet did that pretty well. Now, it didn't work for Michelle because it just continued to feed viruses and things.
Well, it might heal your gut for a little bit, but it's going to eventually back up your liver, which is going to get back into your gut.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the GAPS diet didn't end up working for either one of us.
Mm-hmm.
It worked for Mark for a couple years.
It did, but it backed my liver up because after a couple years, I got inflamed and heavy again and everything else. So that's when I knew something was wrong,
Right.
And then medical medium came along.
He wasn't eating any differently.
No, I was still eating all the GAP stuff, and I just had backed up my liver. That's why a friend recently asked, do you recommend GAPS anymore? I said no. I said because I think that a lot of kids are being born with backed up livers, and adding insult to injury, with all the toxins that they get throughout their life and they get through their mothers and their fathers and this kind of stuff, extra fat is just going to do them more harm than good because it did me. And I'm 50 years old. So now people can say, well, you're 50. True. But if your liver's backed up, your liver's backed up. Okay. So let's just start there. Now, let's see. She mentioned liver, strep infections, and viral nerve damage. Okay. Viral infections. All right. That's what we're talking about here with PANDAS, right? Medical medium says it's viral. Mainstream medicine says it's strep. My experience is in treating my own, it's viral. And you have to heal the nerve damage caused by the viruses, right? But you can still have strep infections and that are out of control and you don't know it. That's what small intestinal bacterial overgrowth is, right? So you have to treat these. And he has supplements to do that with, right? So you have to treat these to control the behaviors and to control the damage while you work on the liver and the gut. Now, here at the bottom, interestingly enough, heavy metals, do you want to be, okay, the heavy metals, since that's the last thing we're talking about here, the heavy metals feed the viruses. And how do I know that? Medical medium says that, but I don't go on just medical medium. I don't. And so I looked up and found some scientific articles that talk about viruses, especially HHV6, that's human herpes virus 6, HHV7, human herpes virus 7, and EBV, Epstein-Barr virus, feeding on heavy metals in a person's body to help replicate. And when viruses are always being duplicated, being born and dying, and as they die, they release neurotoxins. When they release neurotoxins, not all viruses have neurotoxins, but these do apparently. So when they die in your body, they release neurotoxins and they damage your nerves. So you have to take what medical medium recommends, a methylated B12 to heal nerve damage. And so I've been taking that, not as regularly as I should, but been taking that to heal nerve damage. But I've definitely done the heavy metal detox smoothie, which also kills viruses and strep and detoxes you with heavy metals. You deprive them of their food, they die off. So you have to.
So there's a list of no foods that medical medium says stay away from so that you're not feeding viruses and you're not feeding bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if you've had a long-term antibiotic, I did for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Good point.
You've got a lot of toxins in your body. And you've also made your strep antibiotic resistant.
Good point.
So
yeah, because after 3 years of antibiotics, if there's any strep left in you, it's antibiotic
it's
resistant.
mutated.
Yeah, exactly.
So so you have to clear that out, and that's what celery juice and heavy metal detox smoothie also do. They clean out all of the things that are not good in you.
So what was the other thing we were going to talk about tonight?
Well,
actually, we combined them together. But
so if your child likes meats and fruits, I would try a whole day with just fruit. Now you have to suspend beliefs that you have.
Fruit fear.
We came from gaps,
mm-hmm.
and we thought we needed protein. And apparently you don't need it, because we have one person who just took her son to the doctor after 6 months on medical medium, and he had gained weight and grown better than he'd ever been, and he had been on the gaps before. So
mm-hmm.
it's to be afraid of being vegan, which is basically what this is. You have to be okay with changing your beliefs.
And we talk about that a good bit. A lot of people are scared of fruit, so we can post the fruit fear. You know, I hear people coming probably from the specific carbohydrate diet as well, but from gaps, it feeds yeast. Well, here's what medical medium says about yeast. Yeast is actually there to help control strep. And so
if you have an overgrowth of yeast, as in candida,
mm-hmm.
that means you have a lot of strep.
Mm-hmm.
Because the candida is the army that's trying to keep it down.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to kill the candida, you want to kill the strep.
Mm-hmm. So let's see, the supplements we use for strep: lysine capsules,
Cat's claw, lemon balm,
colloidal silver, and liquid zinc. It was liquid zinc sulfate. And so, I see. The timer stopped, so I have no idea how long we've been on now. But anyway, so
we've seized up, but this has happened before, so we think we're still on. So
yeah,
we just keep talking.
So
but
anyway,
it is a little distracting.
Right. But anyway, so the whole point is to treat for strep, treat for viruses. And so
the big thing is everyone thinks that PANDAS is strep. It's not. I know Mark has said that many times already right now, but taking antibiotics for PANS, it's not really going to do anything for you.
Yeah. Antibiotics will just continue the problem.
It'll actually feed it.
Because as she found, she got worse on antibiotics when she was being treated for Lyme disease. And the woman who commented earlier tonight wanted to know if we had seen regressions during recovery when we got sick. And I don't remember if there were regressions. It was because I was sick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to because we were doing the heavy metal detox smoothie so consistently and so regularly that I think strep and viruses were kind of under control.
But when you were on the GAPS, you did have those regressions, and this is a similar diet.
It is. And I see. You're saying, well, true. But that's the thing. What we thought were regressions on GAPS diet when I would eat fruit are probably really detox reactions.
Probably.
To be honest. Because now that we quit GAPS and went cold turkey on medical media. So we went from eating meat one day to eating fruit and vegetables for the next 35.
Yeah.
Cold turkey, jump right in, hardcore, nothing but fruits and veggies.
And the reason that we did that, I tried the diet half-heartedly one day, and I felt so much better in that one day. I had chicken that day. I felt so much better in that one day. I said, I'm going in.
Mm-hmm. And so it took me a few days, but I felt so good waking up, had energy, was happy. I mean, kind of happy,
Yeah.
and like SpongeBob happy. Well, maybe not that.
Did you call that dysphoria?
Euphoria. Dysphoria. Dysphoria is disabled euphoria.
Okay.
And but anyway.
It did. We felt like so happy.
And
it was almost annoying.
Well, and the only time I had ever felt that good on GAPS was in the first few months. And after that, it leveled off and kind of disappeared. But really, fruit probably on Specific Carbohydrate Diet and on GAPS, really, when you eat fruit, it's detox reaction because it happened every time. And then when we quit the meat, it didn't happen again at all.
We didn't just quit meat; we quit dairy. And
well, yeah, we really quit the no foods.
Yeah, we quit
cold turkey. We quit the no foods. So,
and if you need help with this, that's why we wrote the book.
Mm-hmm.
It has the no foods in it. It has links to medical medium approved supplements.
Mm-hmm.
It has what to do in the morning before you eat anything. It has all kinds.
Yeah. Well, we've got some of it right here. But if you want to know the title of that book is Heal Your Autism's Do-It-Yourself Guide. Healing Begins in Your Kitchen. And we just got that out. When did we get that out? Yesterday?
I don't know.
Anyway, recently.
Sunday night, yeah.
Yeah, Sunday night. So 2 nights ago. And it's on our webpage. And all you just have to go to www.healyourautism.com.
And then / buy the book.
Buy the book, all is one word. And it'll come right up. And
it's also all over our page.
Right, exactly. And so you can click on the link and you can go there. You can read all the stuff about the book. And there are a bunch of freebies that go with it that are excellent. Videos, podcasts, interviews, and even a guide for picky eaters.
So what we want you to do is continue with your heavy metal detox smoothie at your level.
Mm-hmm.
Celery juice at your level,
Mhm.
and lemon water all day long to flush it
That doesn't
out.
have to be at your level because
Because it doesn't do anything that's that's detoxing.
right.
Well, it flushes.
There you go. It flushes. Okay.
All right, we can see that we're back and there are no questions. So
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow night.
thanks. Bye.
Bye.